what I've been baking. First of all, I started with what I call cleaning out the freezer. Found 7 bananas. Found 7 bananas. What are you going to do with bananas? Banana cake. That's what my friend Melody would make. She likes to wait till they're good and rotty and the fruit flies are flying and people are throwing them in the trash. She's pulling them out of the trash. She makes banana bread. I make banana cake. My favorite recipe is from Betty Crocker cookbook. It's in shambles. It's 40 years old. I bought it. Do you remember those clubs where you could choose 12 books for a penny and then you'd buy a book every month after that? Well, that's how I bought this. This is the only book that has survived that. I guess it's a 73 edition because I got married in 74. Here we go. It's a 1974 edition, Betty Crocker cookbook. It was, most of the recipes are homemade, from scratch. There are a few in the early 70s. We were breaking into convenience foods. A lot of women were going back to work. There are some recipes where cake mix is used, and this was also the start of the dump it all in one bowl, all the ingredients in one bowl and mix. But you know what? I think there's a big difference. If you cream the fats first and you separate your liquids and your dry ingredients and then you add them alternately, I think it makes a big difference in the consistency and the fluffiness. So I use the recipes, but I combine them in the old-fashioned way where I mix my fats first, which would be the shortening or the butter, and then the sugars, then the eggs, then your dry ingredients, alternately. And it's banana cake. It's a banana nut cake, but I didn't put nuts in it this time. How's that? Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, and this is peanut butter frosting. Oh, it's like you could just get a spoon and eat that like a candy bar. They're so good. The peanut butter, got some right here. Oh. The peanut butter frosting comes from a recipe from 2 peas in their pot. Oh, it's in a plastic. And it's a beautiful website. It's a young couple with young children. They added another pod to their peas. And the recipes are simple. They are homemade. By homemade, I mean scratch. But very, very easy. And I believe that she said, the wife said that she wasn't big into baking, so she tried to find as simple recipes as she could. And I really do like their easy banana cake. They use Greek yogurt. You can also use substitute sour cream. They do have some recipes with sour cream. But I didn't use this because I didn't have any yogurt. So I went ahead and I used the Betty Crocker. That is one of my husband's favorite. And when it comes to peanut butter frosting, my husband is very, very romantic about it, because when we were first married, he was working on his PhD and I was a sophomore working on my bachelor's. So we were very broke. He had an internship. He was teaching at the university as well as taking his studies, and he'd also work at a Pizza Hut at night. So I decided on his birthday to make him a banana cake. I didn't have any measuring spoons, didn't have any measuring cups, so I used yogurt cups, small yogurt cups for my measuring tools, and of course just regular teaspoons for the measuring teaspoons. And he just thought that was the best cake in the world. So he has some very romantic ideas about peanut butter frosting. And I had 1 banana left, since I had 7 bananas, and I used 3 for the banana cake. And from my Betty Crocker cookbook in shambles, there is a banana oatmeal drop cookie. Do you remember good old drop cookies? I made them larger. They did recommend you drop them by teaspoon. I made them quite a bit bigger. And wow, did they come out chewy. Very cakey. Very cakey. Oh, very, very flavorful. Very sticky, which I love because of the brown sugar. My raisins were a little bit dry, so I did cook them a little bit in the microwave with some water to kind of plump them up, reconstitute them. They were like beyond dry. They were like mummified. That plumped them up pretty good. It has cloves. It has cinnamon. It's the morning after the evening that I baked. The house still smells fabulous. These are delicious. They're so homey. So homey. And just imagine if you put a little bit of this frosting. Let me use my finger here. On top of this cookie. Holy moly. If I weren't already married, I'd marry myself. Holy moly. Excuse me. So delicious. I'm going to include the recipes on my Facebook page, Yarn Bite, and I'll have a link for the peanut butter frosting. You'll want to try the peanut butter frosting. It's so good. Oh. While we're talking about food, I found these at the dollar store. Oh, they're so good. Look at these. How festive. Look how festive. Oh, look. I have got a little bow on. Look like a Snapchat, don't I? These are peppermint cream taffy. Peppermint flavored taffy filled with vanilla cream. Oh, the vanilla is so pronounced. It's so delicious. I have a little candy tray on my desk at work, and I'm afraid I'm the one who's been noshing on these. They're so good. You want to try them? Bought them at the dollar store. I think they were $1.69, a little higher than a dollar, but at the dollar store. But they're so good, delicious. Well, it's been about 13 days since I haven't knitted. The last item that I made was the big blanket for my son. So it's on his way. He should get it this Friday. And I am starting to Jones a little bit. In my mind, I'm thinking of things that I could be making. You know, don't have to rush it. There's a hat with kind of a Fair Isle, stranded work, color work. You know, as long as I don't push myself, but I do need to finish the snowflake Afghan, but I did order some ergonomic needles. They're cube and they're more comfortable. You have a better grip. So I won't slip and start knitting until then. I think this is an addiction. I mean, I love to crochet, I love the weaving, but the knitting, it's just something about I'm itching to get back to knitting. But if I sit down to knit, I will knit all night and I won't do my holiday baking. And my family and my coworkers love my baking, so I need to show a little restraint. Oh, and let me show you, I don't know if you can see this, I'm wearing my Farm Candy apron. There you go. Can you see that? Farm Candy. I bought it in New York City. There's a very nice little store. They had some of those fancy smancy chocolates with herbs, sea salt, black salt, rosemary, basil. You think about it, you think of it, and they had it. And oh, dried tomatoes, just fudge. You know, it was just the fanciest fudge I'd ever seen. Bought some of that. It was interesting, but not my favorite. Not my favorite way to eat chocolate. Not my favorite way. Well, I hope you liked what I baked last night for my coworkers and my family. And tonight after work, I'm going to hit the freezer again. See what I can make cleaning out that freezer.